This is a HeadGum podcast.
You will dream it.
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey,
Neil.
hey,
Neil.
Come on.
hey. I want to be famous.
Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Lindsay Weber.
I'm Bobby Finger.
In my mind, it's you then me, so I almost said I'm Bobby Finger.
Oh, I'm first. I'm first billed in your mind.
Well, I just in my mind, it's like you say your name and then I say my name. So
In your mind, I'm contractually obligated to receive top billing.
no, in my mind, it's alphabetically ordered because we came to a respectful agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to say to you, Bobby,
What?
Happy Pre-Kend.
Happy pre-kend.
It's the Pre-Kend.
Well, it's technically the weekend for our listeners, but yes, it's the
Oh,
pre-kend.
shit, you're right. And also, yesterday I was thinking, wow, it's already the pre-Pre-Kend.
I'm so mad. So our friend Lala has been saying pre-kend for a while now. Like pre-kend is Thursday, pre-pre-kend is Wednesday, and this has been a Lala thing. We talk about Lala a lot. So I started saying it, obviously. Josh started saying it. Lindsay started saying it. We're trying to make everyone say it. So I put it on my Instagram stories last night, and our friend Casey responded to me and was like, actually, your friend Lala didn't invent pre-kend. It was invented by Succession, I think. And I was like, Succession has to get out of my life. The more I hear about Succession, the less I want to watch it.
If one more person tells me to watch Succession, I'm going to succeed myself off this planet. I will not hear about Succession anymore.
I don't even know what it is. There's a Culkin in it?
I don't know. It's funny. All of a sudden everyone's like, it's funny.
Right.
It's like, the ads don't make it look funny. It doesn't look funny.
When it came out, everyone was like, what is this stupid show? I don't care about this show. And then suddenly everyone was saying, it's actually a really good satire and it's funny and it's a really good VP in the loopy tone when you think about it. And I was like, get out of here.
I just want to make it very clear that we don't really care about Succession. We just don't want people to tell us to watch Succession anymore.
Because look, I know myself well enough to know that the moment I start watching Succession, I'm going to be all aboard the train. I'm going to have all the Succession merch. I'm going to be talking about Succession to anyone with ears. I just don't want to get to that state yet. I'm not ready for it.
But also, I'm just in denial that pre-kend is something that is already apparently a thing, which is it can't be.
Pre-kend,
No.
because even Lala said she didn't invent pre-kend. Pre-kend was not created by Succession. Pre-kend is old, but it's back.
Okay, whatever, it's back. Thursday's the pre-kend, Wednesday's a pre-pre-kend. Maybe pre-pre-kend is our thing. It really helps you get through the week. Because you're like, oh, Monday and Tuesday, wow, what a nightmare. And then all of a sudden it's Wednesday. Usually that's what people call the hump day.
Hump day's over. It's the pre-pre-kend.
Yeah, it's the pre-pre-kend. Because you're like, wow, we're so close to the weekend. Because it's the pre-pre-kend.
Here's a question about pre-kend. How do we spell it?
When you spell it out, it looks like pretend. It
Pretend.
doesn't
So
look...
I feel like you need the double E because that's how you spell weekend. But pre-kend looks kind of crazy. And pre-pre-kend is, pre-pre-kend spelled out Preepreekende.
I know we're like a digital world, but these are not really words meant to be spelled out. They're not really meant to be written down or spelled out. Don't you agree?
Yeah. No, it's in the early 2000s when everyone started getting rid of consonants.
I also just wanted to
Vowels.
share that we were listening to Cher's new version of Gimme Gimme Gimme, A Man After Midnight. And Bobby got so excited about the new Cher song that he spilled iced coffee all over his recording device.
All over it.
So you're like, how are they recording? And we're like, well, we make it happen for you. And also, Bobby can literally not drink or eat anything without spilling it on himself.
That's not a joke. I feel like I've mentioned that on the podcast before, but I spill stuff on me all the time. All the time.
It was honestly, I wish I recorded it, but the audio of you spilling was hilarious because you were singing and then you spilled and you screamed and then you were like, oh my God, I spilled it. And then you forgot to hang up. So the Cher song just kept playing ominously over you, rustling around. And I was like, oh my God, if the Cher song does not stop playing, it was like a horror movie, but starring Cher. It was honestly really funny.
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
But just be careful if you send Bobby a new track. He'll spill something on himself.
Yeah, I know. I was just too excited about the pre-kend.
Gimme, gimme, gimme a man after midnight. Won't somebody help me chase the shadows away? Gimme, gimme, gimme a man
Hi, my gay boys. I just read that the mystery buyer of Lance Bass's Brady Bunch house was HGTV. Anyway, I freaked out. I wonder if he can get a job there. Thanks. You're the best. Good form, Baltimore. Bye.
So we got a ton of calls about this. Yes, the lucky winner of the Brady Bunch house was not Lance Bass. It was the TV network HGTV, which explains why they had sort of an unlimited pool of money. Also, the new news. The new news is that, let me quote TMZ.
There's new news.
Sources close to the situation tell us, TMZ, that HGTV brass privately reached out to the NSYNC singer Tuesday after he publicly reacted to the news that the network was a mysterious corporate buyer. We're told HGTV and Lance are scheduled to meet next week to discuss him getting involved in the network's future plans with the house, namely restoring it to its 1970s form on the outside for a new TV show. The cribs pretty much remained the same on the outside. So there's a chance that
Which,
Lance
to be fair,
Bass
is what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do.
And now he's getting paid to do this instead of having to spend a few $1 million to buy it himself.
Right, so he's probably
Win-win.
thrilled. He's probably thrilled. And also, did you see, I mean, my other favorite part of this story was Jonathan Scott responded to Lance Bass's, like, annoyed email with HGTV.
Don't say Jonathan Scott is your favorite part of anything, but go on. I didn't see this.
So Lance tweeted, HGTV, oh man, I'd be pretty upset if it was anyone else, but how could you be mad at HTV? My television is stuck on that channel. Kudos, HGTV. I know you will do the right thing with the house. That was always my biggest worry. So
Wait,
I think...
what? My television is stuck on that channel. That's because they pay your bills. Jonathan Scott said that?
No, Bobby, this is Lance tweeting.
Oh, I thought you said Jonathan Scott said that. It's like,
No,
of course
just
your
wait.
television
So
is stuck to your channel.
Right, so that's Lance tweeting, and then Jonathan Scott responded, a property brother, said, would love to work with you. This is such an iconic home, and it really played an important part of my childhood. Reinforcing strong family values, smiley face, which I hate because being like, it's strong family values to me, just it's like, is that homophobic?
I think, I love family values. I think it's fine.
Okay.
But it also seems also like a contractually obligated thing where he has to respond to HGTV News on Twitter.
I mean, of course, this is like his dream is to be involved in this drama that Lance Bass like started and got press. But it's just funny it's just funny the tweet he decided to write.
So are we going to go on the Sailing with the Scots boatloads of fun cruise or not?
No.
If someone works for Royal Caribbean or whatever, will you reach out to us and let us know if it's possible? Because I wouldn't say no.
I would say no.
If we got free tickets. If we got free tickets.
No, I'm sorry.
It's only a 4-day cruise. Even if we did get norovirus, that's only 4 days.
There's only one thing more miserable than an actual cruise with no celebrities is a cruise that is themed with celebrities.
I'm sorry, but have you been on a cruise themed with celebrities? How can you say that it's miserable?
But I've been on a cruise without celebrities and it's miserable, so I can only imagine it would get worse.
I also really shouldn't do it because I'm very, as Twiggy is very anti-fur, I'm very anti-cruise. They're the garbage trucks of the sea. They just like dump they're such terrible
disgusting.
polluters. And
going on cruises, sorry, no offense, everyone who loves to cruise, is like the lazy man's travel, and not even like in a shamey way. It's just
but it's expensive.
It's expensive, and it's like 89% whatever food. It's so food focused in a really like uncomfortable way.
It's killing the coral reefs.
Okay, well, that too.
I'm intrigued, but I'm saying, having said that,
I would go.
I am intrigued by the idea of sailing with the Scots.
I just wonder, like,
where does it go?
When did celebrity cruise become like a viable business option for these people? But celebrities.
Who started it? It's fairly recent. It's in the past like 6-7 years.
Is it? I just feel like I've always seen in like, when you open your playbill and there's always some cruise with like Broadway stars and it's like people you've never heard
we know
of in
you
your
go to
whole life.
plays, Lindsay. When you open your playbill, we know you see everything.
Excuse me, you've been to a play or a musical.
I know.
Don't act like you haven't. I'm trying to be relatable, not trying to brag about the fact that I've been to a play.
Sounds like brag to me.
Okay.
The point is, this is disgusting, and also I do it. And Lance Bass is probably going to be on HGTV hosting a show about the Brady Bunch.
I know. Well, now
house.
HGTV's seeing this narrative already play out. They're like, Lance Bass is like part of this story now. So now we have to include him. And he's honestly going to come out on top. So do not feel bad for Lance Bass. He's about to sign on the bottom line.
On the dotted line?
Oh, what did I say?
The bottom line.
What's the bottom line?
I'm not sure, but let's not get
Okay.
into it. Here we go. We also got about 6 different calls talking about cool beans. Oh, also, my friend Shayna called in, and she was like, you have to tell, this is your friend Shayna, you better tell your Brady Bunch story really quickly. My Brady Bunch story is that one time I bagged Alice's groceries because Alice lived near me growing up.
And no offense to Shayna, but like, I'm really glad that you called Bobby out for being a fan, but that's a really bad story. That's the story.
It's a bad story, but it's
It's a
also
bad
sort of funny. I bagged Alice's groceries. I used to see her at the HEB. Okay, I'm
Great
done.
story.
Next call. We
Great
got a lot of
story.
calls about this.
Hi, Lindsay and Bobby. I just had to call right in the middle of your episode where you're talking about Bobby's cool beanbag invention, which I honestly think is genius. And I just have to tell you that I have the name for you. It needs to be called Cool Beans. Cool Beans, the cool beanbag. Duh. Good luck. Bye.
Okay, so you all are right. That's all we have to say about it. We got a lot of calls saying you got to call the Cool Beanbag Company Cool Beans.
We
and
are
that's
not
good
starting
name.
a beanbag company. We can barely make a t-shirt, let alone start a beanbag company.
We are not starting a beanbag company unless someone comes in and says they're going to do all the work.
Literally everything we do, it's like, we should do like start a Lambrusco company. I like research it for about 4 to 5 minutes and I'm like, no, I can't do that.
That'd be so good, though.
What?
You haven't talked about Bruce in a long time.
Yeah, because no one is around to help me with
I
that.
haven't
It's
had
an
a
impossible
good-
dream.
I haven't had Lambrusco in so long, and that was my thing for such a long time, and I haven't
Why
had
haven't
a
you
glass.
had it?
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
Well, it's weird because it was trendy and yet it didn't really grow in popularity in terms of being carried at liquor stores. So I never see it and I can never buy it.
Yeah, and sometimes when you see it, it's not cold, and it's like the point is I want it to be ice cold.
Okay, well, Bruce has never... Well, that's why we need Bruce, but you know what? Couldn't
You know
get
what?
the
If
support
you-
on Bruce.
If you are some sort of angel investor or however those things work, and you want to give us money for either Bruce or Cool Beans, hit us up 619 who them, and we will
We'll
at
think
least
about working with
be
you.
a little interested. You can take most of it. Also, we just want to put our
No,
name
please
on it
don't
and
promise
talk about it.
that. No, I'm sorry. Do not promise that.
Okay,
no,
I'm not gonna promise
sorry.
anything. I'm not gonna promise.
You can-
We'll
you can
wait until
have-
we sign on the bottom line.
You can have like 15% of Bruce for an investment of $200,000. That's my Shark Tank ask.
Okay. Okay.
I know
Lori,
it's
get
usually
at us.
based on I know it's usually based on evaluation, but it's just a good idea.
Next call. Next comment. Actually.
3 comments, my
Oh
god.
my god.
Hi, The Weekly. Thank you for talking about Jane the Virgin. It is such a great show, and everyone on it is truly so talented. I was kind of disappointed you didn't do a full cast, even though really the only other interesting person besides Gina is Justin Baldoni. But he's kind of interesting for, like he's a very good person. He has, like, a video company that just makes, like, inspirational videos. But I used to, like, thirst follow him on Instagram, and I had to stop because I was not thirsty. I was parched. It's all baby videos, and I love babies, but, like, it's all about, like, the miracle of life, and, like, he's a huge hippie, and, like, I swear to God, like, I was there for every day of his wife's pregnancy. It's just, like, he's just like, I can't believe God lets me watch my wife's stomach grow, and it's just like, and he's directing this movie, and it's just The Fault in Our Stars. It's the same exact plot as The Fault in Our Stars, but it's with Cole Sprouse, and just like, he's such a good person. I'm sure he's a great father, but
The call. The
This
call
is great.
cuts out. The call cuts out like mid rave
That
about
honestly
Justin
makes
Baldoni.
sense. That makes sense. Like, I like that she was like, I can't believe you didn't talk about him. I went down a deep hole, and then I had to, like, climb out of the hole.
And she's just like, I love him. I want to marry him. He's amazing. Did you know he did a TED Talk, Lindsay, this year?
No. What was it about?
He did a TED Talk on masculinity and like toxic masculinity.
No, I'm okay.
Why
Keep
I'm
it.
done being, quote, man enough.
I've been pretending to be a man that I'm not my entire life, but I'm tired of performing. And I can tell you right now that it is exhausting trying to be man enough for everyone all the time.
You found the one thing I don't like more than I don't like cruises, which is TED Talks. So I'm glad we've ended up in TED Talks.
This TED Talk is 18 minutes long, which honestly feels short for a TED Talk.
Doing a TED Talk is a red flag. If you're like dealing with someone and they've done a TED Talk, you're like, red flag.
No,
like,
literally.
A red flag. Yeah.
It's a red logo too.
Oh, okay.
But
wow,
do we
amazing.
do we stand Justin Baldoni? I'm not sure I do.
I don't really care. A lot of people also called and were like, how dare you call Gina a them? She's not. She's like, they were like, 4 people watch this show and like, even they might agree with you.
No, I think she's a them. I'm not changing that.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying
Are
those
you?
people called.
Are you?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
think-
I like to take feedback. I
Yeah,
think
I know,
she's
but-
a them in terms of like celebrity in our celebrity world. Like she's part of like tabloids. No matter how many people watch her show, it's like she's somebody that people like to deal with and talk about and look at and hear about.
And I want to say, I truly do believe like my mom knows who Gina Rodriguez is.
You should call and ask her.
Well, she's on vacation.
Okay, well, when she's back.
Hi, I was just on Twitter and I noticed a picture on my timeline of Richard Lewis, MSNBC's Ari Melber, and Alexandra D'Addario. And I was wondering, how do they know each other? Good form, Bill Thorne. Thanks, bye.
This is a weird one. As an MSNBC stan, Bob, do you like Ari Melber?
I have been watching / listening to Rachel Maddow like every single day for 10 years. And it's very much,
brag.
It's not a brag because it's actually sort of lame. It's lame and depressing. It's really white noise for me. She just like, I listen to it in the morning when I'm showering and like
It's
getting
comforting
ready.
to you.
It's comforting to me.
Comforting.
I usually turn on the podcast and I just like play the audio and I'm half paying attention. It's just like, it's such a deeply ingrained part of my morning routine that I can't shake it.
It's fine.
And so when I do turn on MSNBC, I don't necessarily love it. I'm a Rachel stan. Every once like I have MSNBC on as white noise, as a lot of people with cable do. I don't particularly care for a lot of people on that channel. Like I don't like listening to a lot of them. I love Andrea Mitchell. I got a soft spot in my heart for Chris Hayes. Ari Melber is difficult because Ari Melber is... Have you ever watched his show?
No.
His whole thing is like really, really dry humor about like pop culture-y things and specifically rappers. So he's always talking about rappers.
No.
Like he ended
Chris
one...
Hayes does that too.
Yeah, but Ari Melber does it
way more.
To an even more insane extreme.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is I don't... It was annoying at first, but now it's sort of like it's so lame that it's kind of funny. But also he's always been the guy who part of his shtick is saying like Chris Hayes' shtick is like, I'm a dad, I don't know anything, especially on Twitter. Ari Melber's shtick is like, I'm actually pretty cool. Like I'm a cool guy. Like I know I'm lame, but I'm a cool guy. So it is not surprising to me that he's dating this random actress, Alexandra D'Addario, who, full disclosure, we have talked about probably 800 times in the podcast cut every single time.
Will we cut this? Probably.
We'll probably cut this.
Well, I was going to say the one thing I know about Ari Melber is, so full disclosure, I know his ex-wife, and so do you. She works in media, or worked in media. I'm not quite sure. No, I think she lives in LA now. And I ran into them once, and he was perfectly nice. And I met him, and he was nice. So that's my only experience with him. He seemed very nice.
I had the exact same experience.
Right. And so...
I was like, oh, this guy.
Right. But again, he's dating, one of the most notoriously cut from Who Weekly celebs that we have today. She's probably been cut from this show more times than anyone.
Yeah, and so we have this photo that this caller is particularly called from is Richard Lewis saying, "My pals Ari Melber and AA D'Addario helping me celebrate my 24 years of sobriety," which is very cool. Okay. But the answer to your question, how do they know each other? Alexandra knows Ari because they're dating.
But I do wonder, how did Ari and Alexandra meet? I guess that's like really not important to find out. Who cares?
No. Parties, mutual friends, who the hell knows?
I know. Sometimes we want to find out, and sometimes I feel like I just don't care.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that I care.
Okay, great.
Next call. Remember when she dated Zac Efron?
Dated, quote unquote.
Or like whatever. Okay.
She was in Baywatch with Zac Efron, and to get more publicity for the movie, she dated him, I guess.
Okay. That was implied. Next call. Good call.
Oh, are you going to play that? Is you going to keep that on the podcast?
Yeah.
Hi, Lindsay and Bobby. This is Stephanie, medium time listener. I want to know who Maye Musk is. So I know she is Elon Musk's mom, recent problematic person, but she is 69 and she is a cover girl. I saw her on Facebook and I've seen her on Instagram and she's gorgeous, but I want to know more about her because it's not your average person that becomes a cover girl at 69. All right, thanks. R.I.P. Yummy Pop.
There is something funny about Elon Musk's mother becoming a superstar late in life because he is so annoying and she's so inspiring. So it's literally like the opposite kind of like she really like is doing everything that he's not doing, which is being likable and kind of inspiring, you know? Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Yeah. But she's been around. What was her line that you have quoted here when she
I
says,
love this. She wrote, "I was famous until Elon became famous," Miss Musk said, half joking. But she's not joking.
Oatmeal.
I mean, like her name was more known in the modeling scene and outside than his name until he became so famous. Right. Who was asking us yesterday about Elon Musk? Was it us together? On Flash Forward, we did a podcast.
Yes.
Flash Forward. Which we're going to be on, I think, next week, which was really, really
August
fun.
August 28th, I believe.
We talked about the bleak future of celebrities,
the
celebrity
bleak future
spawn.
of Celebrity Spawn Con, yeah.
And we were talking about Elon Musk, and it was just funny to kind of think about him in a celebrity way, because it's like he's famous for being an inventor along the lines of like Steve Jobs, and Thomas Edison. Like he's our modern day inventor in a weird way.
He just happens to be like openly horny, so he's like always dating women.
And she argued that he does very hooey things, which I would agree. Yeah. He's just a very hooey them
with who tendencies, yes. And his mother is just like this very glamorous, high fashion, like gorgeous 69, 68-year-old woman.
I think she's now 70.
Who is, because she's been a model for so long, she knows all the other like legends in the fashion world. Like one of her best friends is Diane von Furstenberg.
Of course it is. She's probably just very refreshing for a lot of women who meet her, I would say, including designers, especially designers. And the other kind of fun thing about her is that she raised her kids as a single mom and alongside her twin sister, whose name is Kay. So it's like May and Kay. She's got a great history. There's a bunch of feature kind of profile things that you should read about her if you're more interested.
Yeah, there's one written by Derek Blasberg, which is frustrating, but whatever. People know him and people like talking to him. One thing I did like in one of these profiles, I'm not sure which one it was, but where she talks about like, when she divorced her husband after 9 years of marriage and she had all these kids and she was raising them as a single parent with the help of her sister. To make extra money, she would do like just like the stray modeling job in her part-time, which I think is just a very funny lifestyle.
That's kind of what a lot of these profiles imply, where it's like she would not be where she is if she also just wasn't a hustler. Like she's always hustling. In the New York Times profile, there's a really funny part where she's with a friend and she sees somebody more famous than her. I forget like who she sees. She saw Charlotte McKinney, that model, the Carl's Jr. model.
Yes.
She was like, we have to get our photo taken with them because we'll get more Instagram followers. Like that's what she said, which I love. Like she's not playing around, and you can tell she's related to Elon Musk.
But it's a very her story is very fun and inspiring single mom story, because she went back to school, got a master's degree, then she started a new career as a dietitian, but she kept modeling and she knows everyone and she's so fabulous, and then her kids grow up to be supremely successful. It's just a good story. It's a good story.
Also I love that her comment is I used to be the most famous and then my kids got famous.
And she's like, I want to be more famous, and she's shameless. It's good.
I like it. It says a lot about Elon Musk, to be honest.
It explains why Elon is the way he is.
Yeah.
But it's in the fact that he's thirsty, but then he's also a huge nerd, and seeing those two forces trying to contend with each other is very funny.
Hi, Bobby and Lindsay. This is Reed. Long time. Sorry, there's a thunderstorm right now, so it's kind of loud. Anyway, so I saw Mission Impossible Fallout. Amazing. Obviously, it's a them movie. But Vanessa Kirby, what's the deal with her? Is she going to become a them eventually, or what? So, anyways, love the show. good for him, Bella Thorne.
We did a Rebecca Ferguson moment, and now we're Vanessa Kirby. I feel like we have to do this because the movie was so big, you know?
Movie's huge.
So it makes sense. I didn't know who Vanessa Kirby was because I didn't watch the most recent episodes of The Crown.
Yeah, I didn't watch The Crown, and I didn't watch, wasn't she in that, like, what was that fucking... She was in that. They redid Great Expectations a while ago.
Yes,
and everyone liked it. It was. I mean, it's almost a decade ago.
She
but
was
it was
Estella in
Yes.
2011's BBC adaptation.
I didn't
of Great
watch that.
Expectations. Yeah, and she was also in A Streetcar Named Desire on stage with Gillian Anderson in 2014, which a lot of people talked about too. Remember that when they brought?
Yes, you know what I do know her from?
What?
The film About Time. And she is Rachel McAdams' best friend.
Of course, and she's really good in that.
And she's funny in About Time. She's like the comic relief in About Time.
So she's a British, right? She's British. She's got to be British. She's a very pretty British blonde woman. She is, but you might not think of her as blonde if you've watched The Crown because she plays Princess Margaret, right?
Yes.
And she has brown hair. So that's like another maybe reason why it might be a little bit of a cognitive dissonance between her role in Mission Impossible and The Crown.
Mm-hmm.
A little unsteady. I know hair color is silly, but it kind of does make a big difference. People
it makes
forget.
a big difference. And I would say it's kind of great to make a name for yourself with a completely different look. So like she became famous as The Crown, but then she doesn't get typecast as that because that's not really what she looks like.
Right.
You
and
know? What's
great is in Mission Impossible, not only does she has like a smaller role, but she really stands out because she's kind of the bombshell of the movie.
Yeah, no? She's the bombshell of the movie. She has a much smaller role than, like, she is a very in terms of screen time, she's a pretty small role, but in terms of like the plot that she moves forward, she's incredibly
also, I don't know if you had this problem, but I had a huge problem. I could not tell the difference between Rebecca Ferguson and the other woman.
Michelle Monaghan?
Every time they were on screen, I was like, which one is that? Like, I literally said to, I forget who I was sitting next to, Joe, our friend Joe, I was like, which one is that? Like, I kept forgetting. They look a lot alike.
They look a lot alike. It was the styling that was different. And what is really funny about it is that you have these two, like, very glamorous, gorgeous women. And one of them is playing, like, you know, the sexy CIA agent who's always like perfectly coiffed and everything. So what they did was they tried to make Michelle Monaghan look like homely and normal, but it's like you can't do that with someone who is.
They're like she's the nurse, like she's like a humble nurse.
Look at her, she's a nurse, she's a volunteer, she works for the World Health Organization.
They are literally twins. So that's another reason why Vanessa Kirby stood out, because she was someone who looked different than these two women who I swear to God look the exact same.
But it also makes sense because it explains why Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible series has a type, and they are Michelle Monaghan and Rachel Ferguson. They look exactly the same.
His character has a type.
Has a type.
But anyways,
wasn't Vanessa Kirby great in it? She's barely in it, and she like steals every scene. Her character is the daughter of the Vanessa Redgrave character.
Oh, is that true?
The first Mission Impossible.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's sort of subtly.
I forgot a lot of the plot of that movie.
But I like kind of pushed it aside. Like we were talking about a couple episodes ago, like that very posh, very like alluring British accent. That's just like good. It's very good on this sort of gray area. Is she a villain or is she a good guy? You can't really tell. It's a perfect little accent.
And
just like Max in the first one.
As with every like Tom Cruise movie there ever is, there's always one actress who is rumored to be dating him because like literally like I think he actually does try and like recruit women on his movies. Like I think that's how he tried. Whatever. So there was a photo of them kissing because in the movie they like kiss once, and so
she kisses him. It's kind of funny.
So there were paparazzi photos, of course, of them kissing, and people said that like Tom Cruise was like, she was on his list. Like he always has a list. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll tell my boyfriend. My boyfriend thinks it's very funny that this is the case.
Hilarious.
She's dating this guy named Calum Turner, who is an actor also.
Like some hunky actor.
He's in Fantastic Beasts, the new one.
The funniest thing about that statement is that it almost, in my mind, she got in trouble for saying it because a reporter asked her about the rumors and she was like, ha ha ha, no, my boyfriend heard about those rumors and thought they were hilarious, which, without getting into it, can be interpreted any number of ways.
Right.
And it's like, oh, usually the women who Tom Cruise is allegedly linked to don't make fun of it in the way that Vanessa Kirby made fun of it.
But she says, like,
which
my
is really
boyfriend
charming.
was not even, like, it's very, like, an underhanded comment. You're so right. I didn't even think of it
It's
like that.
really
but it
funny.
implies, it's like, oh, my girlfriend's dating Tom Cruise? Sure.
Yeah, like I'm
okay.
not worried about it.
All right.
It's like, is your boyfriend, like, does he worry that Tom fancies you or whatever? And it's like, LOL, bye.
Yeah. Which is kind of actually quite charming.
It's funny.
I don't think
It's really
there was no,
funny.
like, backlash for that. It was just, like, kind of a blip.
Because that was like when they filmed it about a year ago.
Yeah. And it truly is fucked up that on every movie set that Tom Cruise is on, there's always some younger woman who is rumored, like, they write about as being the person he's going after.
Vanessa Kirby is setting the record straight about those Tom Cruise dating rumors.
Wait, so who do you think she'll be them?
Oh,
maybe?
I feel like
Is she in the next
bad.
movie?
I used to think if they make a next movie, I feel like she would have to be in it, in a small role again. And if they make another movie, you know who else I think is going to definitely be in it?
Who?
Wes Bentley.
Oh, of course he is. Are you kidding? Did you see his face? The minute he came on screen, I was screaming. I was like, you can't just bring Wes Bentley into a movie and not, like, have him be evil. And he just stood there. He's like, I'm the doctor husband. Like,
I'm the
wink,
boyfriend.
wink.
I'm the boyfriend.
His face when it's just at resting looks evil.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is the rudest introduction. Of
It's the most it was the most obvious thing.
Yeah, no.
I'm not sure. I would like to believe she will be a them.
I like her.
It was in the same way where I had the same reaction to her in this as I did Mackenzie Davis in Tully, where I was
love Mackenzie
I knew
Davis.
she was a thing, sort of, but I'm suddenly, like, completely enamored by her.
But I think Mackenzie Davis is going to be is heading towards them faster because she's going to be in
the new Terminator. I think
and she
Mackenzie
has a
Davis
lot more
is more
under
of
her
a
belt.
Yeah, Mackenzie Davis is more like a guaranteed them.
And also, I
but
think that what's her face from The Crown is kind of in line before before Kirby. Like, what's her and she's heading there.
Yeah, and what's sort of genius about The Crown is that no actor can get stuck in it, you know, because it's about the passage of time. So like Claire Foy is not required to continue being in The Crown because they've already aged her out. So it's like
that's
she can do
what's
other
fun
things.
about The Crown.
Yeah, I think that's what's great about it.
Right, but I was thinking about, like, in terms of like up and coming thems, maybe Claire Foy, if we were looking at The Crown, would be like before Vanessa Kirby. Like Claire Foy is kind of like already working her way there.
She's going to be in the Neil Armstrong movie First Man.
But, like, that looks whatever. No comment. Fine. Who cares?
I saw the IMAX trailer and it was really cool.
It looks stupid. Sorry. I'd rather watch Apollo 13. I know it's like different space stuff, but it just looked like they were like, how are we going to do it? And they're like drawing on a chalkboard. I was just like, Apollo 13. Like, why?
It is funny that every movie about NASA has a scene with either Ed Harris, Kyle Chandler, or Kevin Costner at a chalkboard, like drawing a line, being like, we got to solve this problem.
There's nothing more space than like being like, solve for X. And it's like a line from like a circle to a circle. And then they're like, it happened in Armageddon too, I think.
Is it the moon? Is it Mars? Is it whatever? And they're like, this is our problem. And
we
they do
need a Kleenex box, 2 rubber bands.
Wait.
Sorry. It's just
a supercut of like the man in the 50s, in the 60s suit just going, this is it, and that's that, and then being like, deal with it. And then like the other like white dudes in glasses with the skinny ties are like, oh, we're gonna be here all night. And then
it cuts to a bunch of white dudes in glasses like pulling on their collars, being like, yay, 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 and like going like looking
calling
at
their wives and being like, honey, it's gonna be late. And the wife is like, I fucking hate my life, and like throws the casserole back in the oven. I do like that they gave Neil Armstrong's wife something to do in this First Man trailer because it's just like there's a good line in the trailer where Claire Foy is like, you're a bunch of little boys, like,
we've got this under control.
You're a bunch of boys. You don't have anything under control.
Well, I do like that the trailer is like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, well, I like that there's someone being like, you guys are all fucking babies, because I don't believe that it actually happened. And if it did happen, I don't believe that anyone took her seriously because it was the fucking 60s.
Right.
But it's like, I like that they're giving Claire Foy something to do.
I guess.
Like, imagine if Neil Armstrong's wife had gone to NASA. They'd be like, get out of here, lady. Like, come on. We're busy
can't get
drawing lines on chalkboards.
Excuse me, I'm in here with my men just drawing on this chalkboard for hours and hours trying to figure out how to save the spaceship.
It's like, here's the problem.
We need to move on.
And then they write like solution ? And it's like, you got 8 hours.
It's like, no, it's terrible. It's gonna be bad. Well, sorry. Continue. Next
It looks
call.
fine. We'll know soon enough because festival season is soon, and so we're gonna hear all these people who are like, I saw First Man, I saw Star is Born. Guess what? Star is Born is gonna be the movie of the year.
First Man can eat me. Like fucking First Man
I just
sucks.
had the best vision.
What?
Of Star is Born, like beating First Man for everything, and then like cutting to Damien Chazelle, who's like furious once again, who's like, La La Land couldn't win, and then I made this Neil Armstrong movie, the most Americana bullshit.
What do you people want?
And we're like, we want Lady Gaga, bitch. Sorry, bitch.
It's true. It's like Moonlight, Star is Born, like eat it.
Oh my god, that'll be so
only,
satisfying.
If only Mamma Mia 2 was like available for like awards. I mean, it is.
Available? Yeah, no, it's available.
Okay. Next call, please.
Next
I
call.
beg of you.
Okay.
So you're telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
You gotta talk about power here. Whoa, guys!
Hi, Lindsay and Bobby. This is Jasmine, longtime big time, which means I'm a longtime fan of the both of you and a big fan of you both. Okay, so here's my issue. Is that the people I would like to talk about, Nicki Minaj and Tracy Chapman, are neither of them are who's necessarily, but this is a very who situation. Nicki Minaj cannot release her album because apparently, unbeknownst to her, there is a Tracy Chapman sample of one of her songs, which is not yet cleared, and so she has to push back the release of her album. And her crazy Nicki Minaj stans are trying to contact Tracy on various social media platforms to try to get her to clear the sample, but Tracy Chapman is Tracy Chapman, and she's not on Twitter. So what the stans are doing is really just adding fan accounts who are always just responding to them like, we don't know Tracy, we don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's not my problem. My question is, do you think that Tracy Chapman knows who Nicki Minaj is? I have no idea, and I think you guys might know. Thank you so much. Good form, Bella Lauren. Love you. Bye.
You're right about this being like two thems, I think, that we really don't need to dig into. But I just want to share one thing that like really like made me giggle.
Because like the caller said, Tracy Chapman is not on social media because why the fuck
would Tracy Chapman be on social media? If you were like, who's the last person to get on social media, I'd be like, it's Tracy Chapman.
Tracy Chapman is like, has like a very healthy bank account and is living like in a cabin with no Wi-Fi, like writing.
Loving her life. Like loving
eating
her
kale.
life.
You know, like Tracy Chapman is fine.
She's loving it. So the best part is like the Nicki Minaj fans are like, we will find Tracy Chapman and we will get clearance for this sample. And it's like, of course, their number one like solution to this was to tweet at Tracy Chapman fan accounts being like, please like get us in touch with Tracy Chapman. And the funniest tweet I think I've ever seen in my whole life is from Tracy Chapman Online, which is T Chapman Online. A picture of Tracy Chapman as the icon, but clearly not Tracy Chapman. And it says, hi to everyone who has messaged and DM'd me in the past few hours. Tracy Chapman Online is a fan community and is run by the fans. Although we can't speak for the artist, feel free to browse the feed and ask any fan questions. Implying that, like, they've been DM'd by, like, all of these Nicki Minaj fans being like, Tracy, clear the Tracy. And they're like, we are not Tracy. I'm a 14-year-old girl in Peoria, and I am not Tracy Chapman. And I cannot clear the sample.
It is funny imagining, like, Tracy going to her cell phone, which she keeps in a safe, that she only looks at once a month.
At the bottom of the ocean in a cage.
She only goes there once a month, that she scuba dives down to the safe. She gets the phone out, she takes it up, and she opens it. It's all, usually there's nothing there. Usually she checks it once a month and it's nothing. And today it's just calls from Nicki Minaj fans and Nicki Minaj being like, hey Tracy, it's me. Can I use your song? And she's just whatever.
What was funny was everyone who wrote about this, so I guess we got ahead of ourselves. Nicki Minaj has a song, can't release her album because there's a song on it with a Tracy Chapman sample that she can't clear. But everyone who wrote about this said, wow, like, there's actually a famous story where Lena Dunham wanted to use Fast Car in Girls, the last season, I guess. So she got permission for the thing because she called Tracy Chapman directly. So it's just like everyone, like Nikki clearly hasn't done the one thing that was actually the thing that you should do first before you engage your fan army, which is call Tracy. She'll get the message. She'll get it when she goes and gets her cell phone from the bottom of the ocean.
Like the bay, like a beautiful lake.
I do love the idea of Tracy being like, can you put some coffee on the stove? I'm just gonna go check my cell phone, and like puts on her scuba mask and like gets in the water.
Yeah, it's really, that's a good image.
Okay, we can move on, please.
Do we have to do Ellie Goulding's new fiance, Casper Jopling?
It's crazy because it's like the same. He is the same guy as Jennifer Lawrence's new boyfriend.
Yeah,
I just realized that after reading.
It's the same thing.
They both have crazy names: Casper Jopling and what was his name? The other one.
I actually have a story about
Cook Maroney.
Cook Maroney, yeah.
You have a story about
they
him?
were wandering. Well, no, I just had a story about him opening a tab. They were opening. I mean, they were wandering through Paris a couple days ago.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Holding hands, doing PDA.
Casper is works at Sotheby's, and he's an art guy, and so is Cook. And what did I say?
Sotheby's.
What did I say?
Sotheby's. It's Sotheby's.
Sotheby's. Oh, that's even worse than what I said.
No, Sotheby's.
Is that not it?
I got a friend who works down at Sotheby's up in New York City.
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't go to Harvard and study art, and my dad didn't get me into the art business. And I know how to
but
pronounce
he's like
Sotheby's.
a child of a billionaire, and of course they're engaged. Why wouldn't they be?
We love it. Anyways, you went to Harvard.
I'm not going to play the call. We don't have time. And this next call is too good. Here we go.
It's too good.
Okay, wait. I just called earlier about like Chinese hooligans and things like that. The thing is that I mentioned Fan Bingbing and I totally forgot, but she's like missing. She's been missing for a month. I think what happened is that she got caught for like tax evasion in China, and now the Chinese government is like has banned her from leaving the country, and she's not on social media. People are really worried about her, and it's just like a whole wild ass story. And it's definitely something that should be talked about. I do think it's just like tax evasion, but also like the Chinese government is like crazy and authoritarian. So actually, you can get like people banned from leaving the country for honestly the smallest things. Like for instance, if there's a Chinese tourist who's like who you know you think is like behaving in a not great way overseas, you can like write to one of the ministries and they can literally ban that person from leaving the country, which is also like super fucked up. But anyway, Fan Bingbing of like I think the only thing she's known for in America is like X-Men Days of Future Past, where she like plays Blink or whatever. But she's like really beautiful, and she's like a model and all of that. But yeah, she's like hasn't posted on social media in a month, and everyone thinks she's like missing. Most likely it's just the fucked up Chinese government, but you know. Okay, love you all. Thank you. Bye.
So one of the biggest actresses, probably the biggest actress in China, is this woman named Fan Bingbing.
Huge. I think at one time a couple years ago she was the like fourth highest paid actress in the whole world. And
you might know her from X-Men. I forget who she played. This is what the
most
caller said
recent
too.
one.
She played someone, but
Days
she's
of
also
Future Past. She was Blink. She was Blink.
She was in that Jackie Chan Johnny Knoxville movie that randomly like happened and was also a little bit in here. But she's mostly famous for films that have come out in China. Like she really is not like a crossover star yet. Basically what happened was, I guess she's really active on Weibo, the Twitter.
Like Weibo, she has like almost 70 million followers on Weibo.
Right. And
it's
she always likes stuff and she tweets stuff. And so she's like pretty active. But I guess she went silent in June or July, and everyone was like, what happened to her? She's missing.
Which is what you do when a celebrity stops posting, when a celebrity who is very prolific on social media suddenly stops.
And usually you would think, I don't know, what's the culprit for stuff like this? Like
usually like, they're about to release something.
I'm stressed, I'm working on promo or drugs or whatever. This is like even crazier. But
this one is allegedly like white collar crime. So in China, there are all these very complicated. I mean, it is Hollywood accounting. Hollywood accounting is its own brand of complication or its own brand of complicated. But I guess they have stricter rules or stricter laws regarding how much you can pay your like the actors in movies, because the Chinese film industry is like huge and getting huger by the year, getting more huge by the year. And so the stars are getting paid too much because there are all these bidding wars between them. So they put a cap on how much stars can actually get paid, like as a percentage of the film's entire budget. So
right. So it's not like they can't get paid a lot, but the film has to be a huge, huge movie for them to get paid a lot.
Right. So it's like cast payments can't be more than 40% of an entire budget, which seems like a lot, but it may not be if you have this huge star who's demanding a lot of money. So to get around it, they've been doing these things called like what are they called? Yin and yang contracts. Basically what they do, and they're widespread contracts that exist outside the movie industry, but basically it's like you have a fake contract that you show everyone that says you're making this much money, and then
but
like
that's
this is going
not
here.
The real
but
contract.
That's not the real one. The real contract is under the table, and it's like I'm actually making way more money. And so when you do this, you're breaking all these tax laws, and so she's not paying enough money. And I guess apparently, allegedly, the government found out that she has been avoiding all these taxes, and they're trying to find her. And so she's just like completely gone off the radar, and she's missing because of tax law.
It's honestly so crazy. It's just wild. So
yeah, so everyone's
but it's
like,
funny because everyone's making it kind of like this suspicious thing when it's been reported out that this is a tax thing. Like it's pretty much
like she's not dead. She's not like, assuming a different identity in another country. Like she's probably like at her house. you know? She's really at her house, and her lawyers are like, "We'll deal with this."
Yeah, and this is also just fascinating because a lot of American movies are now funded by Chinese investors. If you notice, there's kind of one that's always shows up, which is H Brothers. Isn't that what it says? H Brothers, and then and so they're also part of this this kind of scandal where like a lot of these kind of film companies are trying to go around the government or go around whatever and try and save money on taxes and stuff.
Yeah, so it's sort of just a perfect storm of you have your American companies who are shady and your Chinese companies who are shady, and when they're shady together, things get even crazier.
Right,
and I think that's kind of the bottom of the story. Anyway, so we need to find Bingbing. Let us know if you have any updates on Bingbing, because I love when a major actress goes missing. Like imagine if just like Jennifer Lawrence just went missing, and it was tax shit. That's not completely out of the realm.
She's now going to lose like deals. She's losing brands and stuff. Everyone's kind of like mad at her.
She's a spokesperson for what, L'Oreal or something? Some big cosmetics brand.
De
Beers Diamonds. And she didn't show up to some event, and they brought like the B team. And everyone was like, they brought the B team. Bingbing's not here.
And she also just got engaged to another actor last year. Like she can't just go missing. We gotta find her.
And I think with that we're done for the week, right?
We better be.
And keep buying tickets to our show. We still have some left. Matt Belisai's going to be there. Mariah Smith's going to be there. It's going to be amazing.
Incredible. And we're going to have special guests, too. We have another special guest. It's really going to be great.
We're going to have a good show. It's going to be great. It's at the Bell House next Thursday. What else is there? Keep calling 619-WHO-THEM. Leave questions, comments. And
I feel like we never say this, but
inquiries.
Check out. Okay, wow. I think we never say this, but check out our Facebook group. We have a really amazing, exciting, and very active Facebook group in which you can go hang out if you haven't been there. You should go check it out.
I know. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's great.
That's it.
Have a great weekend.
That's it. Say bye.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.